Billy just agreed with Pete. What is Pete saying right now?
Oh, no. Well, we're talking about Mike Adams right now, the offensive tackle that just went to the Steelers. I feel like every year they need to fix that O-line, and according to Pete, they may have just done it.
Well, Billy was talking about, Kevin Colbert, who's one of the best in the business. He does a great job at getting the guys that will come in and play. And when somebody leaves, he lets them leave, and then he uses one of his draft picks to replace them. I think he does a great job.
The more weapons you can get your quarterback, obviously, the more successful they're going to be. So what weapons in this draft in terms of wide receivers do you think would be really beneficial for quarterbacks?
I love Kendall Wright. And a lot of people will say he's little, he's chubby, he's not fast on the clock, but when you put on the tape and watch Kendall Wright, he is a flyer.
Well, the Broncos had been talking about bringing in a younger backup quarterback to Peyton Manning so that Peyton Manning could mentor him, and they just did that with their most recent pick. Brock Osweiler, they brought in the quarterback. I think they're all terrible, but one need that I think the Jets have not really addressed yet is the offensive line, but the Texans did address that. What do you think of the Jets pick, Demario Davis?
Run and chase linebacker in a defense that doesn't feature run and chase linebackers. It's kind of a weird pick to me. When I looked at it, I said, okay, where's he going to play? They're outside and they're 3-4. They're big guys inside. You want big run pluggers. It doesn't really fit with what they do. And then his size, and I'm sitting there thinking, are they thinking about maybe making a safety out of him because he can run? And they've been known to have bigger safeties who can hit. So I don't know. That doesn't make any sense for me.
We keep saying the Jets in their 3-4 defense, but yet they have 4-3 personnel, and then they keep drafting guys like this. It kind of makes you wonder what's going on there.
I go back to what Pete talked about earlier, where the Jets keep making these curious picks, and you wonder, what happens if they flame out worse next year?
And the pick is in, and it is official. The Dolphins have selected Ryan Tannehill. But I remember there were several games where they were up by at least 3 touchdowns at half, and they lost. Do you think he's ready to start in the NFL right now?
If you drafted him at number 8, you better believe he should be ready. You think he's ready. So why delay the inevitable?
And let's not forget, too, they got David Garrard and Matt Moore there. So
right. Do you think Tannehill's better than Matt Moore?
I think that those guys provide, and the Tannehill pick, by the way, is now official, right?
The Saints pick is in. It's their first pick of the 2012 draft. Who will they go with? Sean Payton suspended a year for Bountygate that was installed by their defensive coordinator. And this is the first time, like we said, that they are finally making a pick of this 2012 draft.
You know what I have? I have a little listening device. I've been listening through the wall. I found out they're actually picking a defensive tackle, I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what, I got one of those listening devices. Yeah, just like they use.
Did you install it?
Allegedly.
Who installed that for you?
I installed it, allegedly.
So you're better than Mickey Loomis?
Allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, first pick for the Saints, I think they're lucky to be picking now, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the NFL could have hammered them more for what they did with Bountygate, and frankly, they would have deserved it. I mean, we're talking all of a sudden, this is the Saints are going from the feel-good story of the NFL, winning after Katrina and winning the Super Bowl, to the bad boys of the NFL. And you look at what's going on, and you see 2 isolated incidents with Mickey Loomis, granted, allegedly.
I do think defensive tackle was the position that they needed to address because they were pretty ineffective when it came to that last season.
Yeah, Rogers didn't work out.
Yeah, Rogers didn't.
And neither did Abreu Franklin didn't work out.
I think they need to address the quarterback issues. The only one they really have is Gerard Powers right now, and he has been inconsistent with staying healthy.
Well, they need a lot of things.
I think they need another tight end.
Oh, stop. They'll probably draft a fullback or something. They are getting a fullback. No, they're going to take a defensive player here. Have to. They have to get better on defense. And you mentioned quarterback. Powers played well when he's on the field. He's had some problems with injuries. The only guy that played back there the entire year was Antoine Bethea or whoever they picked. So I think they made the right move.
Well, Pete and Will, thank you guys for your expert analysis today. And Jason, you and I, after the show, punter-kicker debate.
We'll have a competition outside, and we'll see if we can outpump Pete, who I know he thinks he can beat all of us in every sporting event possible. Right, you mentioned earlier that Lindsay would be very excited when Stephen Hill goes off the board.
Didn't you hear all that screaming?
No, I thought I heard something, but I wasn't sure where it was coming from. But I just assume it's over there. Lindsay, let's go back over to you. Are you jumping up and down? What's going on over there?
I mean, we are so composed over here. This guy had the fastest 40 time out of all wide receivers, and I think it's a great addition to all of Sanchez and Tebow's weapons that they'll be able to use. Right now, they just had McKnight, they had Patrick Turner, they had Holmes, and now with Plax not coming back, this is an excellent addition. The Tennessee Titans are on the clock, and they chose Kendall Wright in the first round. They went offense, but we know that team really needs defense, so we'll find out if they do that when we return.
Because everybody likes to cite his maturity, right?
Right.
They're like, oh, he's so mature. Yeah, he's 28.
Cole
I mean, he's just
McCoy
old.
seems just as mature, though, to me, but this has to take a hit to his confidence, don't you think?
Yeah. Cole McCoy, I don't want to say he's done, because if Whedon comes out and is terrible and Colt McCoy wins the job, then he's not done. But when you go out and draft a quarterback in the first round, what are you saying to your guy?
Why not find out if Colt McCoy can play? And if he can't, then you go back in the next year and get one of the guys coming out next year, like Barkley or somebody, because if he can't play, you're going to be awful, even with Trent Richardson.
And it'll work.
Biggest surprise in the first round?
I think that the trade happening before we even got to the draft. I think the biggest surprise. I think we'll see Janoris Jenkins be a surprise pick earlier than people expect. He's a kid with a lot of red flags who's fallen down draft boards. A lot of people think the second day. I think we'll see him in the first round. I think Dontari Poe, the tackle out of Memphis, who's one of the one-year wonders our guys referenced, could end up falling out of the first round.
Well, needing more people. You know, the Colts got rid of Dallas Clark, Joseph Adai, Curtis Painter. I mean, the list goes on and on. What other holes do you think they need to fill?
A lot.
Name it.
Yeah, you name it. If it's a position on the field, they got to fill it. I mean, you look at, they certainly need to get another tight end. I think they'd love to see like somebody like Kobe Fleener fall down at the second round, grab him early there, and they're going to need to keep building up the defense. They're switching from that Tampa 2 style over to what Chuck Pagano wants to run with a 3-4, and it's going to take a while to get the athletes they need in that system.
Okay, and obviously fans know that the Jacksonville pick is in, but it is not official yet. Roger Goodell is announcing it right now. Jason, more with this.
All right, Lindsay, thank you.
Well, the Jets are on the clock right now, and that's what everybody's talking about on Twitter. I think they should personally draft a wide receiver, maybe Stephen Hill, but knowing Rex Ryan, he may go with a pass rusher, and Ingram's still on the board. Who would you guys take, Ingram? Now official. Obviously, they were going to focus on defense because during the offseason, they addressed some of their needs offensively during free agency, picking up Brandon Marshall and quarterback Jason Campbell as a backup to Cutler.
He's a little soft, though. That's
He is a little soft.
They've been saying you're a little soft tonight on your picks, giving everyone A's.
I gave out 2 A's.
The fans are happy with the number 2 pick, RG3, so much so that there's multiple trending topics right now for RG3. Brian Quick to the Rams, kind of a surprise. I didn't see him going first in the second round. Did you guys?
No, it's a little bit of a reach, I think. I mean, this kid's got raw ability, but raw ability is what you need to describe.
The reason that secondary is so good is because the front seven gets after the quarterback so much. They're dominant. They crush through offensive line.
Why doesn't he just have 45 running backs on the roster? I mean, that's what he wants to do. He wants to line up and until they pass.
Just because you don't like the philosophy doesn't mean it can't work.
Here's the deal. Ready?
They brought in Manningham. They brought in Moss. But they're going to start passing the ball more.
Two wonderful people to have in the locker room with Michael Crabtree. Then again, the way they played offense for the last 7 years,
they need a punter.
Can we talk about Kansas City's kicker, though, Ryan Suckup? What an amazing season he had.
Yeah, but there's...
And he was the last pick of the draft.
He was the last pick of the draft.
There's a punter. I mean, it's special teams. It's not a third of the game. It's a great myth.
Lindsay, your favorite kicker's team is on the clock. Ryan Suckup's team, the Kansas City Chiefs, now on the clock.
I will give you credit where credit is due, and after looking at his stats, he's 21st in field goals made and 21st in field goal percentage this past season. So, Jason, just take it all in right now. You were right. He's not a top 5 kicker. Well, the Bengals pick is in right now. Jason has more on it. Did they go with someone to replace Simpson, who went to the Vikings, or did they go for more depth at defense?
Well, they did go back on defense. Remember, they've addressed the defensive tackle earlier in the night in taking Devin Still, and they go defensive tackle again. What the Twitter world and Facebook and everybody's talking about online. And one last time tonight, let's throw it over to the other side. Lindsay, what are people talking about with the Giants in the last few picks here?
The last few picks, obviously the Giants need overall depth, and that's what Twitter is talking about. But what position do you think they will select?
Well, I think we could see him going running back or...
David Wilson. I think they're going to take David Wilson.
David Wilson.
I think the running back, or Martin, the left tackle from Stanford. I think those are the 2 guys you got to look at. And David Wilson's a good player.